All right, man. So how you been?
I'm good. I'm just gonna go watch the new movie that Alien, the Predator, Badlands soon later
Yeah,
this day, and you know, also I'm getting ready for we're all getting ready for Christmas season already, and I see you wearing your sweater of Zelda, isn't it?
yeah.
Yep.
You already
Mm,
know, man. You already know. It's funny that you notice, and I kind of brought that up earlier. Talking with my girl, that I have a feeling that that might be the next thing for Epic. Something based on Zelda because I feel like it's more marketing, especially with
mm-hmm.
with a movie on the way. So
True.
that will be something that they need to do with the momentum. Following the hype, they should do announcing something for Epic, and then you have the movie coming out. Kind of pretty much, I think that was the rumor going around with why Tron Ares was made.
Mm-hmm.
Tron Ares was kind of made more to sell the ride that they have at Disney.
Yep.
So so I think it makes sense, if you really think about it.
I
But
mean, yeah.
but yeah, man, besides that, we are here to talk about the huge news that something that everybody has been asking
Mm-hmm.
for years now, and that is the
Yep.
return of the Mummy franchise,
Yep.
with the main cast returning. Hopefully, this a lot of articles going around with pretty much saying that this is gonna delete the Mummy 3, which nobody really
Mm-hmm.
cares about, and they should really delete that movie because Eve should never have been recasted for that movie.
Yep.
In my opinion, it's not a bad movie, but I don't know. They should have had just wrote the character out. You get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, they could have
it's
just said that Eve went out of town or she went to business of
it,
tour.
exactly. And it kind of sucks because I still feel like it's not really a bad movie. But that part where we're recasting her, that's gonna hurt the movie now, which I'm pretty sure Universal's they're gonna have to delete that movie, from being made, and pretty much follow up with the Moment Returns,
Mm-hmm.
which is a movie that is kind of 50-50 with the fan. I love the sequel when it comes to the Moment Returns.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's not like the first one, but it's still a good sequel in my opinion.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, just we just love having Fraser back,
Mm-hmm.
back to acting and the way he's blowing up again, because
Yep.
we already know he had a dark background
Time.
past with
Mhm.
Hollywood and all that. We already know how Hollywood can be with a lot of weird stuff.
Yep.
And I just hope that he's doing good now, when it comes to with mental health and all that, because he
Mm-hmm.
just seems like he's a great person. You know,
Yep.
he seemed very sweet and all that, and I just hope that he's doing good. He keep at he been saying it for a lot of interviews that he will be down to make a new mommy, and
Mm-hmm.
from that alone, us the fans we have been asking for the return of the mommy franchise, and
Yes.
it's about time. I think it was just about time. I'm still surprised that Universal waited so long.
Uh,
But hey, you know, we have to talk about something here. We with something like this returning after so many years, it opens doors for all the franchise, and you already know,
that. I
you
mean,
should already know what I'm talking about here.
uh-huh. I mean, like example, Zack Snyder has been posting these pictures of, the his, version of Justice League and Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman.
Right.
And people say that, oh, moved on. Meanwhile, Hollywood at 2020s, we've been bringing back the movies from the 90s and the 2000s.
Right.
And what's so funny, dude? When people say, "Oh, let it go watch the new movies of today's DC universe," I'm like this: what DC universe when we're getting these lame spin-offs, unknown characters that we didn't never, you know, you know, heard of because
Yep.
they have the lowest comic book sales, and not to mention my personal favorite is that that how can you start a new universe with all these low characters that are just like who.
Nobody's asking for this, and pretty much I feel like you can see that nobody's asking for this because nobody's watching this. You
You know,
know,
I don't.
I don't know. I don't know how many times they had to try to spin fake articles. You know, where Peacemaker wasn't even on the top 10 when it came
It's
to this
just.
season. You
It's
know,
barely.
Creature Commander literally came and went. Nobody talked about that show.
You know, it's so.
That show died like after like 2 weeks.
You know, what's so funny is that I wouldn't say it died 2 weeks. It's just that the animation was just crap. I mean, it's like, what is this? Another, Warner Brothers movie straight to DVD? Because the problem with WB's animation, dude, it's just that it's so flat and like the flat storytelling, the flat animation, and my personal favorite, the designs is just like, is this supposed to be some kind of, Devon art
Yeah, I mean
stuff?
the main, but my main problem with this, I think, it's the main problem that everybody keeps having, and it is James Gunn repeating the same thing. You know,
Yep.
creating. He can make nothing without a team. Why can't he make, like, literally Superman was not a solo movie?
Mm-mm.
How you gonna make a Superman movie that's your first movie for a new universe, and it's not a solo movie? You know, and something that we've been saying before, and not to stay on this topic, that long on this video, because I'm just tired of DC, at this point. Um, but it's just like, we don't need everything to be Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
and the main thing about this new DC is that it wasn't a full reboot. It wasn't,
Mm-mm.
he's still trying to continue his universe from the DCEU, which that's the reason why this new universe is a hot mess.
Oh, you know what's so funny, dude? It's amazing that somehow Zack Snyder's Justice League keeps coming back again and again. Like, all because the movie sucks. The movie was just bad. It didn't had a good storytelling or had no soul. Meanwhile, I think Zack Snyder had shown more soul than any other DC films the last 7 years. Like, people do
His
not look
movies,
at.
his films age like wine. You get what I'm
Uh huh.
saying? Like,
They age like great
literally,
classics.
Superman. This new Superman already aging like milk. It's a movie that already looks horrible, and you go back to Man of Steel, and it's a movie. It's a film that looks better, and it's
You know
from
what's
2013. And on top of that, you can tell that Zack Snyder is paying attention to all this, because every time an article comes out where they're trying to say that Zack Snyder has moved on, no,
really? He
no,
hasn't moved on.
he hasn't moved on, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the actors and all that, they haven't moved on either. But they don't want, they're not gonna talk about it because they know all these articles are gonna come after them, and they don't want any drama. You get what I'm saying?
True.
But they're just waiting for the right time, and the right time is if this sale goes through, and the right people, take it when they are ready to finish his story. They're gonna come out. They're
I'm
gonna come
rooting.
out and talk about it.
I'm rooting for for Universal or Netflix's, because at least both of them would care about understanding a word called wallets are open. Because
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
like,
those are the main two, because I don't know what people were trying to spin Paramount. Don't get me wrong, I like Paramount as a studio,
Mhm.
but Paramount is also on debt. They also don't have money.
True.
Paramount, they should be on the list to be sold, because they're not doing good either. So it wouldn't make any sense for them to try to buy another studio when they need to figure whatever they have going on over there. And Universal, between Universal and Netflix is literally still number one when it comes to streaming
Mhm.
service. They got billions of dollars.
True. Plus, they're
And
trying.
Universal also has all that money. On top of that, it will also make sense for them to buy DC, because that way they can probably finally get rid of the Marvel Island
Yep.
and replace it with DC. They can still work with that on the theme parks, and on the theme
Mhm.
parks alone, that's gonna make them money.
That, or not to mention that they can still use the Harry Potter lands for that to, expand it there. Like, for example, we got the Fantastic Beasts Island. We got the two versions of Harry Potter, Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley, but why not a Forbidden Forest area?
Right. But like I said earlier, I don't want to make this another DC video, because it's just
Oh, true.
at this
Sorry.
point, no, you're good. You're good. It just gets tired.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, obviously, we all can feel it. There's something going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So and right now, it's just a waiting game.
Yep.
The
I
the
mean,
mo the moment something finally happens, then maybe we can return to make a new video and talk about it. But now we just wait. It could be part of a Christmas gift for everybody who really
oh
knows.
Lord,
We got November 17th coming up.
the 18th anniversary of the Justice League happened.
Right, right. Even though it was supposed to be the true version, but again, so yeah, besides that, going back to the Mummy, what is something that you are expecting?
Well, maybe I'm expecting like Emo Ted may return from the underworld. What else? What else? The mummy. Well, we see a different area of the rituals than the mummies. We see Egyptian, but we see either from the South America version, where we see Mayans, or we see that we thought this tribe has been extinct for years, but it turns out they've been living immortality for years.
Yeah, yeah. I think Emo Ted too. They should keep him dead. I just feel he had a. I think he had a good ending in the moment. The
Yeah.
moment returns. He pretty much his whole arc was about the love of his life.
Yep.
And he noticed that she was not for him at the end. So I
Mhm.
don't think I don't really see a reason to bring him back, in my opinion. But I'm curious of where would they take this new story. When it comes to a new mommy, maybe a new setting. Uh, you know, and again, it's kind of like what I said earlier. The Mummy 3 was not bad. It wasn't really a bad movie. It
Mhm.
was, but it was just the recasting that really hurt the movie. On top of
True.
that, in my opinion, I didn't really like the score, like the music in the movie, because in the first two Mummies, the scores was amazing. Um, and you also felt that the difference with directing.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that I'm worried about, because I would love, for I think it's Steven Sommers, the original director. I still would love him to direct the new film. Um, I always said that he was a very underrated director.
Hmm.
I'm surprised that DC or Marvel never hire him to make a film, because every time you see his movies, they are like fun. They're full
Hmm.
of that. You have a blast watching his films. Uh, Whatever you can think about the GI Joe, the first film. It's not a good film, but you still have fun watching it.
Yep.
Van Helsing. Van Helsing is a very underrated film that at least it's kind of people talking about it, how it was hated when it came out, but it's a good film. I love Van Helsing, and I always said that should have been in the same universe as The Mummy.
Hmm.
But again, all those films were directed by him, the same director. So I don't know. That's the one thing. What do you think about this directing when it comes to the new film?
I mean, as you have that director, I just only hope that he doesn't make like some kind of way how some films like these days either you have the franchise. Like I really hope this is not gonna be like how most movies just get this horrible treatments like today's modern Hollywood, where they have they either kill off the characters or they just step them aside to be like taken by some unlikable characters.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah. I mean, my my
I
my, my take is it's about the vibes.
mhm,
It's something that they're gonna have to figure out
executed.
how to break the code.
Mhm.
Like the same. They need to keep it similar. You can just make a new film and then make it just horror, because the movie was never just horror.
Mm-mm.
This was horror with a little bit of comedy, with a good time at the same time. It's all mixed together, but it's mixed in the right way, not
True.
not in a way where they let comedy take over the movie, which is not, because the Mummy still has horror moments in it. but it's a
Uh huh.
good level to it. It's a good balance
Yes.
to all of it. So again, that's the only reason, that's my main reason why I'm a little worried. But hopefully they figure it out. The other thing that I'm curious about is, are we gonna have the son coming back? When it comes to their kid, and who will they recast? Because it's gonna have to be a new recast, especially if they're gonna delete the Mummy 3.
I possibly think they're gonna have to make the son tap be played a third actor, but also possibility he's gonna have like some kind of steady career at the beginning, but more like Indiana Jones. Because the thing about I like the Mummy is that it itself supposed to be the Indiana Jones vibe, and not to mention
Right.
the idea that you have the idea of how you have maybe the son will be like I said, Henry Jones Jr. because
Yeah.
trying to be like his mom and trying to be like his dad at the same time,
Right. Right. I
but also
mean,
have research and have some research that either the university or the museum has some elements that need to be examined.
that's a great point. The way you said it is, the Mummy is literally like it was like a modern take to the Mummy. I mean, to Indiana Jones. Even though it's set, the settings is still back in the day, but it was like, after so many years, because it's Indiana Jones was the movie was made like 10 years after the last Indiana Jones, around there.
Yes.
But it's just crazy that you talk about that, because it's like Sony really messed up that Uncharted film. That should have been a modern Indiana Jones film. It was, it's literally on paper. You literally have the games. That's all they needed to do, and just by the casting alone, that's what really hurt that film. That film has like one of the worst casting ever. It just doesn't make any sense for them to make Drake, Tom Holland, to be Drake, because Drake in the Uncharted games, he literally supposed to look like an adult man. Not even though Tom Holland is not a kid, but he still just looks like a kid. It was just the wrong casting.
I don't blame you,
when it came
dude.
to that.
I mean,
and it's not, and again, I like Tom Holland, but he wasn't the right fit for for that. And yeah, besides talking about Tom Holland, we gotta talk about Spider-Man. It's something that I tagged Sony, when the news came out for the Mummy returning. Is pretty much something else that us the fans want. Which is make a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire. Bring everybody back, and finish a story just for one film. The same thing with the Amazing Spider-Man. Make another one. Bring back Andrew Garfield. Bring everybody back, and just for one film. It's just crazy, because these studios are sitting on
money.
$1 billion, literally. Literally. So Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4, that will make $1 billion. The Amazing Spider-Man 3, I believe, will make $1 billion.
What we need is not just Toby and Andrew, but we need the original directors back, because let's be honest, I want Sam Raimi to be part 4, then you have Andrew Weber to be the one to be part 3, but with no deleted scenes this time. It's just all his entire film to be epic.
That's a great point, because the two films have, especially the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, has a lot of great deleted scenes. It's just something that studios, they just need to stay away from the director. And it's something that I brought up before. And which I still think my idea is a good idea. Make a streaming app where it's just about director's cuts. So you just release all the films that you haven't seen, like director's cuts, and just release that on that app. But yeah, man, it's good talking to you again. As always, Jacob. Until next time, hopefully we don't take, I won't take as long to make another video with you. Now we just wait for the holidays. We wait for news, and well, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, brother.
And you'll see what I got you for Christmas.
Take it easy, man. I'm still making your package.
Mm-hmm.
Later, brother.
Yeah.